Right, here we go. Finally. Minus. Right, so number 1. Minus x kwadraat was het plus 2, nee? Minus 2. Okay, right. So, first things first, that coefficient of the x squared is a negative, so highlight so. Nee? Goed, dan soek ons die x-afsnit. So ons gaan maak vir y 0. So 0 is gelyk aan minus x kwadraat minus 2. Okay, now what I could do is take out, het julle 'n minus uitgehaal of het julle net oorgevat? Just took it over. Okay, kom ons hou maar daarby. Okay, so if I take that minus x squared over, it becomes positive x squared is equal to minus 2. Okay, is dit oor? Oor, dis wat agterklik, thanks. Okay, and then usually we would then say x would be square root of minus 2. Nee, maar your calculator would give you a math error, so that means that there's no roots. Nee. Okay, so ek gaan nou sommer net hier skryf, dis geen x-afsnit. Okay, right, then if we work out the y-intercept, I'm going to make x 0, so minus 0 kwadraat, minus 3, and that means that y will just be minus 2. Okay. Last step is we have to get the turning point, and we said that would be where x is 0 and y is that value of q. And q is mos hierdie minus 2, nee? Good. Okay, so let's go and draw. Y-afsnit, x-afsnit. Okay, I know it would be a sad face and it goes through turning point over here waar y minus 2 is. Nee. Goed. Dat jy vir my nog een koördinaat gegee. Okay, gee se maar gou vir my, wie wil 'n koördinaat gee? Nee toe. Koördinate kry. Okay. Jy kan besluit enige plek wat op daai grafiek sou val, né? En jy sal sien dat x is 1 gaan op hom wees, x is 2 gaan op hom wees, 3 gaan op hom wees. En onthou daai armpies, né? Those arms, can you see that I write these little arrows at the bottom? Né? Want ons weet nie waar daai armpie stop nie. Hy gaan geleidelik gaan hy af en bietjie weier ook obviously. Nee? So we don't know where it stops. So you could have substituted in any negative x value or any positive x value. Okay, so kom ons ek vat gewoonlik die maklikste enetjie, kom ons sê x is 1, nee? So my vergelyking was gewees minus x kwadraat en dan minus 2. So in plaas van x gaan ek nou net sê 1. Nee, nou daai gaan nog steeds vir my gee minus 1, so dan my antwoord is minus 3. So dan weet ek dat hierdie punt, if x is 1, y will be minus 3. Michelle, is jy nou right? Ja, dankie. Daar was nog iemand wat ook hulle kop geknik het. Is jy okay? Die res van julle? Do you want me to show a negative one as well? Dus 'n negatiewe getalletjie ook doen. Okay, kyk gou as ek gaan nou sommer daai selfde gebruik. Let's say I substitute n minus 2. Okay, then that minus stays. Minus 2 squared will become 4. Nee, en dan minus 4 minus 2 geef my minus 6. So as jy wou, dan kon jy gesê het as x minus 2 is, dan gee y vir my minus 6. Right. Any questions? No. Yeah. When do we have to write coordinates? Yeah, the ones in red, I basically just wrote there because there was nothing else. All they could see was my turning point. Okay, and there weren't any x-intercepts. Remember yesterday I said usually one of these graphs, at least 3 marks. Right? So you'd get a mark for your shape, you'd get a mark for your turning point, which is basically your y-intercept as well. And then usually that third mark would go for your x-intercepts. But we don't have any. So then we always say, just give me one more coordinate on that graph. So I know you know what's going on. That's my eintlik hoekom. No, you don't have to show this part. Just indicate a coordinate on the graph. So ek wil hê hy moet so lyk. Ja. Okay. Want jy gaan jou sakrekenaar gebruik. Ja, juffrou. Goed, kan ek maar skip? Ja, juffrou. Right, nommer 2. Gee gou vir my die vergelyking van hom asseblief. Ja, nee, net dis nog. Let's see. Okay, right. So again, negative graph. So sad face. Kom ons gaan kry gou die x afsnit. So ek gaan vir y 0 gaan maak. Okay, now wat ek hier gaan doen is I'm going to take out negative 4 as a common factor. Or you even, ja, jy kon maar net 'n minus ook uitgehaal het. Maak nie saak, it's going to add up to the same thing. Then you would get x squared minus 1. And that can be factorized further. Ja. Wie, ma'am? Wat? X plus 1, x minus 1. Het jy 'n vraag? Nee, is jy reg. Okay, which means that x will be 1 or x will be minus 1. Nou, goed, dan soek ek my y afsnit. Ek gaan maak van x 0. So y is equal to minus 4 times 0 squared plus 4. En dit geef my net y is 4. Okay, then your turning point, your draaipunt, is altyd x is 0 en y is hy waarde van key, which in this case was 4. Okay, so let's go draw our graph. Y as x as sad face, and it's gonna look like nie mooi symmetries nie, sorry. It cuts here at minus 1 and positive 1, and my turning point is where x is 4. Is julle reg? Ja. Do you have to say 0, 4? Yeah. We want the turning point, we always want in coordinate form. Okay. Nou was ek stupid, nou het ek een van daai saamgestuur. Ja? Wat gaan my antwoord wees? Nee. Kan ek maar skip? Anyone still copying? Great. Ek gaan nou weer vir jou vra vir die vergelyking, sorry. Okay. Right, so smiley face, wanneer is 'n positiewe gradiënt? As ek my x afsnit soek, gaan maak ons vir y 0. Ja man. Oh, nee vader. Okay, so x squared would then be minus 3. Wat beteken dat x is dan vierkantswortel van minus 3. And we can't get square root of a negative number. Now, I'm going to start using the wording now so that you guys are used to it. Want ergens in 'n toets gaan hulle om vir jou gooi en dan gaan jy dalk nie weet wat dit beteken nie. So ver praat ons nog heeltyd van x afsnitte. Nee, we've been talking about x intercepts. Now, you will see that once we start working out papers for the exams, they sometimes talk about the roots, nee? Die wortels van hierdie grafiek. Nou, dis maar eintlik net 'n ander manier van sê dat dit is die x-afsnitte. Okay? Want jy sal sien dat wanneer ons parabol doen, we have a x to the power of 2 every time. Nee. And then eventually we will have trinomials. Ek gaan nou sommer net enige voorbeeld gebruik. So let's say it was something like that. Nee? Dan sou jy nie kon gaan kry jou hakkies nie. Of nee, kom ons maak hom 1. Sorry. If I do that, dan sou jy nie jou hakkies kon gaan kry deur die normale metode nie. Dan het jy daai metode gebruik. Kan nie onthou nie, ons het dit gedoen. Nee, van x is gelyk aan minus b plus minus vierkantswortel. Onthou julle dit? Het ons dit gedoen? Ek kan nie onthou nie, ek raak te mekaar in my graad 10 en 11. Kyk gou hier, om daai x waardes te kry, het jy die kwadratiese formule gebruik van het ons nie dit gedoen nie? Okay, right, so wait, dan is dit my 11. Maar kyk gou, I'm just telling you why they sometimes talk about roots. So, as jy 'n 3 term, if you can't factorize a trinomial like we used to, like this, right? Getting those 2 brackets, then in grade 11, you're going to use a formula to get those x values, right? En hoekom hulle praat van hierdie x-afsnitte as die wortel, is that sometimes is a negative number, and then it means that you won't have any x-intercepts. Presies soos wat ons nou hier het. Nee, en dan praat hulle van die wortels van die grafiek. Okay, so ek sê maar net vir jou, they will either talk about x-intercepts, or they talk about the roots of the graph. So maak vir jou notaatjie, as hulle praat van die wortels, dis dit eintlik die x-afsnitte. Okay, so net om jou gewoon te maak daaraan, gaan ek nou hier vir jou skryf, geen x-afsnit of wortels. Just to get you guys used to it, so that it's not new. No x-intercepts or roots.
So it's the y-intercept, not the root.
No. The y-intercept will always just say y-intercept. Okay. So the a-afsnit, how do we get that? We make x 0, so y is equal to 0 squared plus 3, wat beteken dat a is nog steeds net 3. Okay, turning point for grade 10 is always 0, and then that value of q, which is 3. Enige vrae sover? Okay, goed, nou moet ons gou teken. So hy, omdat hy geen wortels het nie, hang hier bo. Smiley face, and it goes through at y is 3. Okay, nou gou om jou vraag te beantwoord, hier is nou weer selfde scenario. Sien jy, daar's baie min inligting op my grafiek. So if that's the case, just give me one more coordinate. Nee? So kom ons stel sommer gou in, and we use our calculator. Ons is, baie keer mag 'n mens lui wees. If I use x is 1, then it would be 1 squared, which stays 1, and then plus 3, so it will be 4. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Sema?
Why don't you just add 1 from the original, like 0 plus 1 and 2 plus 1?
Huh? Hierso, in plaas van daai, 0 plus 1.
No, on my graph, we just get
Oh, you mean you think, okay, so 1 to that side and 1 up. No, nee, want jou grafiek gaan nie altyd. Partykeer is daai koëffisiënt. In this case, it would work, nee? Maar nou kyk gou, wag, nou kyk gou vir 2. Let's just use if x is 2, nee? Then it would be 2 squared, which gives me 4, plus 3, so it's 7. So if I just add one more at the x values, I now all of a sudden jump to 7. Verstaan? So, moenie dit doen nie, gaan stel in. Okay. Right, kan ek maar skip? Wie skryf nog af? Okay, nou sit jy. Vergelyking gou. Nee, dit, nee. Okay, right, so, a quarter is still positive, so a smiley face grafiek. X-afsnit. Dan maak ons vir 1-0. So 0 is equal to a quarter x squared.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the announcements.
What? Is omdat hierdie juffrou so laat was? Huh? Vaderland.